Okay, it's time already. We'll call this meeting to order. The motion to approve the agenda.
I would like to change and remove, action and approve minutes, meeting minutes, since we have not received any meeting minutes for the last meeting that we had, which was, I believe, the 28th.
Okay. Number 10, the board appointments. We're not gonna do that today either, so I guess you wanna. Number 10 on item 5.
Board member, we can do the board member ones.
Is it 11? Is that one? Yeah, we can do
No,
a board.
board communication, but board.
11 is already off.
Number,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's fine. Leave 10 on there then. Okay, so we have no, we need to leave that on there because I thought 11 is what we were talking about. So I guess just to amend the agenda to take off minutes if we have not received any minutes.
yes,
Okay, got a motion on that.
Second it.
A second, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. All right, let's say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next up, we have public comment. And Tom, come on up.
Tom Wagner, I had requested to be on the agenda on Friday. I received an email. I didn't see it till about 7:30, 8 o'clock Friday night from Supervisor Clark. There was a email sent at 1:11 on Friday from Supervisor Mayor. Was Judy, are you the one that declined?
I just simply asked if we could change you because I have an 11 o'clock meeting today. So we have a bunch of other things to get done, so we thought maybe we could move you to the 11th.
And who did you ask?
I asked the agenda and I sent it to you also.
I received that about 8:30. No.
I sent it that morning, so
At 11, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't get emails. There's
Yeah.
certain regulations I can't have
yeah,
electronic
Anyway.
devices.
doesn't make any difference, whatever. We had a full agenda, so I thought maybe if we could move you to another day, that would help because we have a bunch of things to get done today. And I needed to get to the meeting at 11.
Wow,
Well,
that's very interesting. My 11th doesn't work. But anyway, $250,000, $500,000 on secondary roads is not important today.
I didn't say it was important, Tom. I asked if it could be moved because of another meeting. If you
And
could
what-
come the next time.
And
Can we just move forward? Because we've got a lot to get done
okay,
today.
Now, hold on.
what was the reply?
What?
What was the reply to your question?
Nobody answered at the time Todd came back.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, and let's just get that done right now. We're talking about, I didn't see this either. I don't have email on my phone. So in the future, somebody has to be on the agenda. We'll just have it on the agenda. I don't know, normally, I think if we make contact, if there's something we need to rearrange and the person wants to be moved, we can move them. And if it's on the agenda and we need to curtail it, we can always do that in a meeting. So I think, do we agree on that just in the future? We just put it on the agenda. I didn't see this.
yeah, and I guess I had assumed, so I had saw the email afterwards and I think I responded. But, cause I kind of assumed that that's why
All right.
he wasn't on the agenda, but I know when he was here speaking, he asked to be put on the agenda for the 2nd. And I assumed that that was going to take place, so I never gave it any more thought. So I would like to see that be a board decision, if possible.
And if
Okay,
it's between meetings, if you want, I don't know,
And,
because Cindy's just doing whatever we tell her to do, so.
right,
It's on there, or somebody who the chair is gonna have to handle this, just handle.
okay.
We need to do
So-
something first. We need to, do resolution number 1 before we do that to establish a chair
Before we do what?
before we have public comment.
Before, it's out of order there. So,
We don't have a chair,
oh, we gotta organize a chair.
yes.
Well, I guess take a break, Tom. Come back here in just a minute. We need to do number one here, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Just sit down right there if you want. It's fine.
I'll make a motion that Jacob Holmes become chair.
Okay, got a motion on that, I guess.
'Cause I
I would do that. I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, a motion and a second. Guess I need to vote on that.
Chair and vice chair. You usually have a chair and a vice chair in that motion.
Well, we're gonna do one at a time. Go ahead.
So you,
You do the same one, and so you can do the resolution. You do a chair and a vice chair.
the resolution states, I don't have two resolutions on.
Oh, okay.
But we can print,
So,
oh, shit, one resolution, okay. Well, would you be willing to do that?
I mean, I would be willing to do the vice chair,
Okay,
keep everything the same.
okay, so make a motion there. Make a.
Oh, make a motion, okay.
You got that?
I move that Jacob Holmes be as chair for 2024 and Todd Mayor vice chair.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Okay, have us vote, I guess. Yeah,
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes,
yes,
Clark,
No,
okay. I got that done. We do anything else before we go on? Run the meeting, go back to public comment. I think we can go on. That handles the meeting, running the meeting, so. Tom, go ahead.
I'll try to be brief, just so we don't put you behind, but anyway, this just concerned me because it just reminds me of 2022, Alan Armstrong declining my
Right,
timely request. And that request included deficiencies that still needed to be addressed, and that's what that roll of temporary yellow marking tape is. And as far as, another thing, Tim, I asked, now that you have my email, Judy, there was a email you sent out after the elections and it was scattered to many, many people, all county employees. One county employee gave that to me. It was sent to the news media. I didn't read about it. Would you please add my email to your list?
that's the list that Melissa has.
Would you please add me to this list that
Is
you
that-
sent out to everybody?
the agenda list,
No,
or which list
it
is
was,
it?
it was from Supervisor Clark. It went,
It's the agenda list.
no, it isn't. It was an email that you had sent out to people stating your opinion about another supervisor.
But I believe, okay,
Would you please add me to your email list?
sure.
Thank you. I had sent photos, oh gosh, it's been 2 weeks ago, after we had that little half-inch of rain, perfectly clean vehicle, driving into town at 25 miles an hour on the best portion of the roadway, not in the worst wet, nasty wheel track. The person that the engineer brought a few months ago wanted to discredit what I said, accused me of scraping material off the road. This came out of the wheel well of my car, 25 miles per hour off of 3/4 of a mile driving 160th Street. Materials like this, every material has a liquid limit. Anything over the limit, the material cannot hold the water. And the best way to explain it is material with appreciable particle size, you can go way past the liquid limit, put it in a container. You can put this material just barely over the liquid limit. You stand in this, you're gonna get your feet wet. You stand in that container with this, your shoe's gonna be covered with slop. That's the best way to explain stability of aggregates. We have plenty of slop on our roads. It's gonna be soon to be 2 years, no pavement marking. Just the other night, the temporary tabs, I'll call them, on M63, been placed on there the second time. I think 2 are left, none of them on the unmarked area. The others were just in the area that's dimly visible. But anyway, this is an old grove that was given to me. But anyway, it is commonly used in paving operations for temporary marking for the public because there's a liability. It puts counties at risk.
You have some of that, JD?
You can try it. Okay.
Yeah, that saves tax dollars, yeah.
But anyway, as far as, when we talk about project, we talk about our roads. There's a county in Nebraska, they assessed a $400,000 penalty or withholding payment. They weren't gonna pay it because of deficiencies that were done on that county road. It wasn't a state, it was county, and it was asphalt paving. They were not gonna final that job and make full payment. They were not going to. And so in public comment last week, I said, poor planning, poor execution, poor oversight equals poor results. And an email from Chuck Morris said, no county dollars, tax dollars were used on are going to be used on M63. Well, with placement, trucking, that shoulder rock excess, it didn't need to be there. That total was 200,000 minimum. And a portion of that could have been used just to address the immediate rut. And now, all of a sudden, when I bring up the question about centerline marking, now all of a sudden I hear about a proprietary fog seal juvenator. Speaking with Iowa DOT, speaking with Asphalt Pavement Association, that is not common on a surface, not quite 2 years old yet, to be a candidate for a fog seal, unless there's been terrible segregated areas that would be very open where moisture could get down in there. There again, just those 2 items, the shoulder rock that got thrown out in the ditch by the side wing on the snow plows, it got bladed off by the motor graders intentionally because there's no drainage. And I sent many photos where the water could not get off the road. It actually washed aggregate out onto the road. Those 2 items right there, you're talking $250,000. That fog seal would be over $100,000. Bottom line, that is an incorrect statement. It doesn't cost the county taxpayers any money. We get to the roads, I can bring figures. I didn't bring them today, but there again, we have agriculture producers in this county. They get docked for moisture, they get docked for foreign material or splits, damaged grain. Quality, they have to meet that in order to sell, to survive, to pay the taxes. But yet we buy material that I wrote a letter back how many years ago, county residents paid $20-some thousand on moisture. That material had 13% moisture in it. We're buying moisture we don't need. We're buying fines we don't need. And I would ask the engineer to go ahead, have that man come back from the quarry and tell all of us how to correct these conditions on our county roads. And if there's damage from the wind turbines, would that company be required to buy this material or this material? So there again, oversight. I mean, we've got a project now we're going to be living with. We've got roads we're living in with. Supervisor Clark, you read an email early this year about a lady, her husband was in the hospital and she had a dog. People were coming out to take care of her dog and they refused because of the condition of the roads. You had another lady, taxpayer, talked about the roads, and you said they didn't get that way overnight. But what is the response to, how do we correct this? How do we make it better? I mean, I would say that county out in Nebraska, they don't have the equipment that this county, they don't spend the money, I'll guarantee you. I would say put a freeze on, you're coming up on budgets. Put a freeze on this equipment. Let's improve what we're purchasing for the roads. When you haul material without all those fines, you don't even have as much trucking. Well, you're gonna reduce your carbon footprint. My goodness, everybody wins. That's what the purpose of the wind turbines are, right? To reduce carbon footprint. And also, as far as motor graders and equipment, I know you had 5 guys go over to Davenport. Probably took 2 days. Okay, that's fine. I want to thank you because you saved the county probably $15,000 those 2 days with 5 motor graders parked and not putting up. That's not funny. Give me a cost per hour. Give me a cost per hour and calculate how much, when we segregate and degrade the soft limestone we have in this county from unneeded blading, that's a cost. It's hard to put it right down in black and white, but it's a cost. As far as wages, hey, no problem. Those guys, they're on the payroll, no problem. It's the machine time, the consumables. We heard the sheriff talk about oil changes, adding the cost to county protection for Essex. We have oil changes on those motor graders. We have the wear parts, the cutting edges. We have the hours, the depreciation. That's one hell of a cost. Thank you for saving us $15,000 by going to Davenport. And I would say, I would encourage you to take them again. There's probably knowledge gained, no doubt. Knowledge is powerful. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
On the fog seal, JD, being so soon, what is the reason for doing it?
Every year. This technology on, well, you all talking about the company.
Okay, and on the rock situation, have they crushed the rock? Are we sampling the rock samples? Are we getting samples? What do you do with those samples?
We're shaking them,
I mean, where are they?
radiation jet shop.
You have the results there?
People all. People there, and difference.
Okay, I guess he's where JD's after all our next stuff, so we'll talk to him and then update here. Any other public comment? If not, we'll run down number 5. We'll start, I guess we got number 1 done. Get our resolutions out here. We'll go to number 2. Everybody see number 2 there? To sign documents as chairman.
I'll move that we approved resolution number 2 designating the chairman of the board to purchase property and execute and acknowledge on behalf of the county.
Okay.
Oh, you want to do them all at once? We can.
On the ones that I'm good with all the boards, our boards. For that is. Do we need to, you want to look at that, Eddie? I'm good with that.
Number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 5. 6.
Yeah.
7. 8, 9. I'll move that we approve numbers 2 through 10. Number 2 would be appoint the chairman to execute leases and deeds. Number 3, authorize the auditor to issue checks. Number 4, authorize the assessor to mail homestead and military. Number 5, designate legal holidays. Number 6, dog licenses. Black Elk dog licenses. Number 7, designate official newspaper. Number 8, the construction evaluation, resolution. Number 9, the taxable utilities, and number 10, the board member appointments.
And on the appointments, we're leaving those the same.
They're the same, except we removed a couple
They weren't there anymore.
that aren't anymore. Yes.
No longer boards, okay.
Okay.
Got all that?
Yes, I second.
A motion and a second, any discussion on that? I guess just have us vote, Melissa, if you want. Who do you have us vote, Melissa?
I'm sorry.
I didn't know if you heard me or not.
Mayor
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark.
Yes.
okay. Okay, number 6, there's JD. I'll do engineer update now.
Ready for me already?
Yes, we're ready. We zoomed right through that. Okay.
Morning, JD King, Page County Engineer. Fine morning in the first of the year, 2024. You have not received this on the email. I just made it.
Oh,
There's been one day of work since our last meeting. But, the blades are out in the district's working on potholes and washboards, wheel ruts. Got 4 trucks hauling rock to spot locations as requested by blade operators. We got a crew repiling brush that we burned. Another crew is working on the Page Taylor line between 260th and 280th on our side, cutting brush and trees. We got a mower out on the gravels in the southwest. One of our motor graders got a service last week. The hoe is still in Altoona. Waiting on undercarriage work. There was spring, the big spring for the track adjuster is what I last heard. Got some work done at the shop building. Are gonna have some work done this week with handles. And there's snow out there, so usually this week would start all the trucks, make sure they're running. The crew has returned to the job site on 190th Street. They're doing both demo on the west pier and working on forming the east pier cap. Paperwork on the Essex West Bridge and the Essex North Bridge. Talking to the landowners about temporary construction easement. We do not need permanent easement there. The easement's right wide enough already. Questions about the engineer update?
The motor grader, wasn't last week motor grader 8 was one that was getting serviced, is that, or was something issue with it?
8 had hydraulic issues.
And did
And
that,
then that's hauled up.
that's
That's not fixed.
not fixed yet? Okay,
That's in Atlantic.
okay.
That's
No updates on that?
I haven't heard yet.
Okay.
on the, before we go into the road, the update of our road plan. So on the rock samples, I was curious about that anyway. You've got them, you're taking them, how often? From what
Once a week.
are they meeting the
Yes.
guidelines, the crush?
The
Less fines?
The dust was 0 to 7. and it was at 4.
Okay, and we were at like 13%, I think,
Right.
Gust. Okay,
And what's the moisture content? Do you check that or no?
They dry it out
Okay.
when they shake rocks. A few comments to Tom. I'm unfamiliar with this temporary marking tape. But,
it'd stand up the blade better than a marker maybe,
well, we'll try it.
right?
And we have done proprietary fog seals on newer with, waited a year, sometimes 2 years. So, and it's not just old pavements that we fog seal. The thought there is to try to trap the volatiles, the asphalts in the good stuff in the pavement, and we can look at some of the surfaces that we've sealed with this. So if you could turn your attention to the next agenda item. There's 3 handouts associated with that. There's a small map, which is original FY 24 construction program map. You'll notice in the southeast corner that J55 is scheduled for year 2025. That was amended
All right,
several months ago. J55 is in fiscal year 24, the current accomplishment year, and we're letting it in February. And then above that, in 2027, was J53.
correct.
So we now have some funds that were found at the RPA. If you'll turn to the bigger map,
Mhm.
that shows the J55 job in 2024 and the amended job of J53
In 25.
in FY 2025, which starts in July. Then if you look at the tabular sheet,
Mhm.
it's on page 3. Should have highlighted across the top there. It's a base stabilization for J53 with seal coat surface for J53 and J55. So we're stabilizing the base on J53 and then putting another maintenance lift on J55 from Braddyville up to the north end of Teak Avenue. That's gonna be stabilized in the February letting job.
So what we're doing this summer on J55, we'll start at Braddyville now and do a little bit on top and go on, or is that
That's,
25?
so that's, the J55 job does not include that.
That's the next,
The
2000.
J53 job
Ties
includes
that.
that part of J55.
Okay. Okay,
$1.5
so,
million in federal aid and the remainder of the match in farm to market funds.
right,
So I need
so this summer, just so everybody understands, will be J55. This
Correct,
construction
correct.
season,
yes,
and then
and
next
maybe I
summer,
shouldn't, next summer, certainly.
53 will be the summer of
J53.
25, right?
That'd be the plan.
Construction season of 25.
Correct.
So that's just, so J55, they sound a lot alike, J55, J53 in the future. East of Braddyville will be this summer, and then east of Shambo will be next summer.
Correct.
That's what we've adjusted that up a year on both of them.
Yes.
Sped each one
Well,
up.
2 years
2
on.
years on
J53.
J53, so that's what we're doing here. We've sped up J53 2 years, and J55 1 year.
Correct.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yes.
And we did the J55 speeding up a year several months ago.
Yes, we already did that. Yeah, that's in the map here. So we're speeding up J53 to construction season of 25. So we need a motion on this
Yeah.
to adjust the maps and need dollars to do that,
To amend the program
amend the program.
as shown.
I'll make a motion that we amend the program as shown.
I'll second that.
Okay, and that's item B on our agenda. So we got a motion and a second. And then we'll vote on it when you're ready, Melissa.
Five-year program.
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark.
Yes,
okay, so I just
Thank
sign
you.
this for you, or
Can if you want. Don't need to.
this thing here, doesn't it, sign?
Can if you want.
They're also here. Number 23, 24. Okay. Okay. That done, number 7 on the agenda is, our hazard mitigation plan. Hey, Jill here, Danielle.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm Danny Briggs with Southwest Iowa Planning Council. I've been working with Jill on updating your hazard mitigation plan for the last year. I believe, Judy, I might have forgot to put you on the email when I sent out the final, but you guys should have been on it. And then it also went out for public comments. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at the plan at all.
I didn't see it.
Okay, that's fine. So this is an update to the 2017 plan to ensure that the county is in compliance with FEMA and their requirements, and it will be effective until 2029. So all the cities and schools are covered as their own jurisdictions, along with the rest of the unincorporated county. We held 3 meetings throughout this process with these jurisdictions to discuss goals, risk assessments, critical facilities, capabilities, and mitigation actions. Those meetings were held on January 30th, February 27th, and May 23rd. Out of those meetings, we came up with 3 broad goals. Number 1 is to protect the health, safety, and quality of life for Page County citizens while reducing or eliminating property losses, economic costs, and damage to the natural environment caused by disasters. Number 2 is to ensure government operations, response, and recovery are not significantly disrupted by disasters. And then number 3 is to expand public awareness and encourage intergovernmental cooperation, coordination, and communication to build a more resilient community against all hazards. Now, in the 2017 plan, we only included natural hazards, which would be your river flooding, your thunderstorms, severe winter weather, and those. And then this one, we opted to include man-made hazards as well. So the list of hazards covered in this plan are animal, plant, and crop disease, dam and levee failure, drought, earthquakes, expansive soils, extreme heat, flash flood, grass, wildland fire, hazardous materials incidents, human disease, infrastructure failure, radiological occurrences, river flooding, severe winter storms, sinkholes, terrorism, thunderstorms, lightning and hail, tornado and windstorms, and then transportation incidents. As far as next steps go, so I did send this plan off to Homeland Security Emergency Management for their review, as well as put it out for public comment. Homeland Security did come back with some changes because FEMA had made changes to their policy book. So I've been working through making those corrections. After those are done, I will send it back to Homeland Security, and then they will review it again before sending it on to FEMA. And then while FEMA is reviewing, I will be going around to all of the jurisdictions and getting adopting resolutions from them. Now I will say, I will send this plan out to you guys again, because there have been quite a few changes made based on what FEMA is requiring now. So hopefully I can get those finished up today or tomorrow. I had been waiting on a response from Homeland Security to kind of answer some questions I had. So hopefully I can get those fixed. And I will need a resolution from you guys. That wasn't on the agenda for today, and that's fine. I will get that put together and then sit over for the next meeting possibly. Are there any questions about the process or what's been included?
So those changes, do you have to meet back with the people that you met with back in May and the previous meetings to review the changes or?
I'll send the plan out to them again. Most of them are like one of the big changes that FEMA had is, as far as like the risk assessment goes, they want us to look at climate change and how that is going to change or affect the hazards.
Okay,
And a lot of that stuff, honestly, the recommendation from the state was to just copy and paste what they had from the state plan to put in. Obviously, I'm tweaking some of that so it fits the county better, but I will send it out to everyone again, just to update them. And I've been in communications with some of the jurisdictions that need, updates that are specific to them. Like one of the changes for mitigation actions, we now have to have a mitigation action for each hazard that is listed. And an action can cover multiple hazards. And some of the jurisdictions didn't have one that would cover some of the hazards that aren't as prevalent here, like earthquakes.
okay,
So I'm working through that with them directly.
okay.
So when you get that done, we'll look at that again before we do a resolution.
Yeah,
Before we would
yeah.
take that. Okay. Well,
Sounds
I
good.
guess we'll look that over again and.
Okay, and that resolution will be, it will include any changes that FEMA has, the language in there. As amended by FEMA for approval, so
Okay.
if FEMA sees anything else, usually the state catches those, so then it gets approved by FEMA, no problem. But if they happen to see something that was missed, we won't have to redo a resolution.
Okay. Well, when you get that, we'll send it, we'll look at it and then we'll put it on the agenda.
Perfect,
Thank you.
yep, thanks.
Thank you for coming. Okay. Number 7 there, number 8, we have Wendy Mueller.
Wendy, are you on?
Yeah, I see you guys there.
Good morning. Good
Morning.
morning. So thank you for letting me come speak to you today. I greatly appreciate it. And just want to thank you for your continued support of funding for West Central Community Action to provide services in Page County. We are requesting the same amount as last year, which is $4,000. And by providing those funds, they're used for outreach services, including admin and indirect costs, any local match requirements we might have for programs in Page County, and support any additional funding needs that we might occur serving Page County residents. So also just want to thank Todd for being on our board. He does a great job and is very supportive of our programs. You should have a packet of information of services that we provided to Page County residents during fiscal 23. And so I'm just going to highlight a few things of that today. First of all, we served 662 households, which consisted of over 1,300 individuals. Of those households that we served, 47% were single person. 58% had an income below the 100% poverty guideline, and 52% were on a fixed monthly income. 44% were between the ages of 18 and 59 years of age. So if you turn to page 3, which talks about the services that we provided, we offer Head Start, which promotes school readiness in children ages 3 to 5 in low-income families by offering a variety of educational services, nutritional, health, and social. We operate 2 Head Start classrooms in Page County. One's located in Clarinda and the other one in Essex, both through school partnerships, and they serve a total of 16 children. We also offer Early Head Start, which provides support to low-income infants, toddlers, and pregnant women and their families. We operate a home-based version in Page County, and that served a total of 7 children. Page 4 We have childcare resource and referral, which this really assists families in selecting childcare providers that best meet their needs. They also work with home providers and centers to participate in the quality rating system. They also provide trainings, and they work with communities and businesses to try to find childcare solutions. As you can see, we continue to lose childcare providers in the area over the past 5 years, a decline of 6% in Page County alone. CACFP, or Child and Adult Care Food Program. This program really promotes good nutrition, positive eating habits in children who are in registered child care homes. And we had 71 children who were enrolled in 4 home providers that participated in the CACFP program. We also have weatherization. This program really helps low-income households increase their overall energy efficiency and save money on their fuel costs. We weatherized 4 households for a total of over $131,000 worth of services in weatherization. Page 5, we have our low-income home energy assistance program, or better known as LIHEAP. This really helps low-income households pay a portion of their heating costs. We had 551 households received over $297,000 worth of utility assistance. We also offer emergency crisis intervention payments, or better known as ESIP. That really helps with furnace repairs or replacements, reconnect fees, service continuity, fuel delivery, and we had 54 households for a total of $33,000. And then we also had another emergency supplemental contract of ESIP, which that assisted another 90 households with another $78,000. So in total, we assisted over $112,000 in crisis utility assistance. We also had the low-income water assistance program. This really provides assistance on past due water bills, sewer bills, any reconnection fees they might have. And we had 17 households that received assistance for over $7,000. Page 6, we have the Family Development and Self-Sufficiency Program, or FADS. This program really works with at-risk families who have children and are at 175% or below the federal poverty guideline. They provide intensive case management services to really help participants meet their goals. And we had 9 families benefit from that program. We also had a one-time funded program by Habitat for Humanity that assisted homeowners with furnace repairs and replacements and an air conditioner or water heater if needed. And we had 7 households received that assistance for over $17,000 worth of services. Page 9 just really shows the program dollars, or the value that go directly either to the clients, local vendors, which totaled over $935,000. And page 10 shows the admin and the delivery costs. And, we really try to keep our admin under 5% and our delivery under 20%. And we accomplished both of those things. And then page 11 is just a summary. And as you can see, over $1.1 million worth of services were provided to Page County residents by West Central Community Action. And on behalf of myself, the employees, and the board of directors, thank you very much for your ongoing support and letting me speak today.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, thanks for what you do.
Yeah, we really appreciate West Central and what they do for our county, and I think it's a great service and really helps a lot of people out, so.
And I will mention that we moved our outreach office. We moved in November, but it's now at 301 Maple. So a better location to help service our clients, and are excited to be in that new spot. So just thought I'd say that too.
Yeah, 301. Okay, well, so we've got the funding request. This is,
I make a
Good,
motion
we go
that
to
we
budget,
fund
budget right
West
now.
Central.
yeah, we got it on here as an action item.
Or do we have to have an action?
Wait till budget.
Budget.
Oh,
time.
okay.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. So I know you'll approve it. So
Yeah, no, thank you for coming and telling us all the good
Yeah,
stuff that you guys are
Yeah.
doing.
yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Have
Yeah.
a great day.
Yep,
Yeah,
you too.
thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Bye-bye.
Okay, got our update from West Central. Next step is, where's Lyle at? We've got the city of Essex using county law enforcement, number 9.
He just stepped out for a minute.
Yeah, he stepped out. We can go ahead and jump to number 10 if that's all right, and then work on that for a minute. Go ahead, Sue. Keep moving along here. second reading of the Page County Ordinance 2023, wind ordinance. Any other comments on that?
Yeah, I have, well, one thing I was just wondering, so what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
With the cleaning up of the language on the lighting,
Mm-hmm.
I did not hear anything. I don't know if that's something that we can change or if we have to if we can clean up that wording without that being something where we'd have to start over or. And that basically had to do with, requiring the ADL or the airport light or airplane lighting
Yeah.
detection system, the
Yeah.
LDS. And where it was also speaking about the strobe lights that are on top of the towers. And if we have one or the other, then it kind of made it sound like there's an option to have both or one or the other. So I think we wanted all of those towers to
Be equipped.
with the ALDS.
Radar
systems.
sensing. Yeah.
Yes. And not have the programmable strobes on top.
Like in that section 4, number 3A, it says, aircraft detection lighting systems, technology is required for all.
Right, but
lights.
right above that,
But
right above that, the paragraph says, well, you have it right there.
yeah, I'm reading,
Okay,
I never did get here back from Carl on this.
yeah.
That's what it does read, just make sure it reads clear.
So my question is that something that we can clean up without having to start over?
Probably need to touch base with him before
Okay.
next week.
I thought maybe before next week, we have to make sure we know the answer to that.
Okay,
And if that gives the answer, we can go two directions, or if it leaves it legally, which way does that go? Or
right.
if we clean that up. Okay, well, that's something I was hoping he'd be here for, so. Okay, any other questions on that? Anybody in public, anybody have anything to say? It's on the website, it's published in the newspaper, all the corrections. Or amendments. If there's not. I guess we can jump back to number 9. Lyle's back in here. We'll talk about the city of Essex law enforcement.
Good morning.
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 So I did some quick figuring as quick as possible. I want to run some numbers over with Melissa on a couple of things before we enter into any kind of agreement. And a reminder that the board enters into the agreement, but the elected official, which is the sheriff, has control over what is put in that agreement. Okay. The tentative figure, and I just called Calvin a little bit ago to let him know, we're looking somewhere between $64 and $65 an hour. That includes a lot of things. There are a couple questions on salaries that I wanted to run by Melissa first when we get to that point, and I'll probably get on the phone with her after this meeting and try to finalize some of that as far as you have FICA, IPERS, dental health, all that we have to figure into a salary, as well as the questions for Social Security, state tax, and anything else that might be figured into a deputy's salary. So what I'm trying to do is make this fair to everyone in the county, including the citizens of Essex and everybody else in the county, as far as what the actual cost is per hour, per vehicle, per deputy. That includes maintenance, radios, upfit, everything like that, that we have in that vehicle as far as where we're at. Now, of course, the radios are already paid for. However, it does cost money to switch over from one vehicle to another, and they last about 4 years. So that's kind of where I've got the vehicle part figured out, but I have a little bit, I have to have some questions that I have to pose to Melissa to make sure we're still there. I don't see it changing a whole lot, but we are right around that $64 to $65 an hour range. Now, with that being said, the question has also been posed to me, why can't Essex just go on the per capita like the rest of our small towns that we provide law enforcement to? So I think we discussed that a little bit the last time. Essex has 715 according to the 2020 or 21 census. And College Springs is our next biggest with 152, with Coin being right behind there. If you look at the businesses, if you look at the population, what they're gonna provide or what they're gonna want provided with the school, with everything else, I don't think that's fair to the rest of the citizens of the county if we try to do something like that. And I'm not trying to be unfair to Essex. But if you look at what Shenandoah was charging for 35 hours, and if you figure in $65, let's just say per hour for 35 hours for a 52-week year, I mean, you're getting up there. You're more than what Shenandoah is charging by far.
Yeah.
And I know that the towns are struggling, don't get me wrong. Especially our little ones that don't have any storefront businesses there for retail, for property or for sales tax. That kind of helps their economy a little bit, but all I'm doing is trying to come up with a number that's fair to everybody throughout the county. I mean, I know a lot of people in Essex. I don't want to do the best we can for them, but then in fairness, we have the rest of the county, whether it's Shenandoah, Clarinda, any of our rural areas that are also doing that. Years ago, I had a former supervisor once tell me that the rural areas of Page County were providing law enforcement basically to the small towns that we do on a 2080 agreement. If you start to do figuring, I'm not going to say that person was correct. I'm not going to say they were wrong, but the small towns that we do off of per capita do get a pretty good deal on law enforcement for the hours. Now, with that being said, we roughly provide at the most on an average, not month to month, but on an average, probably 25 hours to our bigger towns. Sometimes we're over, sometimes we're under. We do have towns that we're only in there maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a month, just depending on what they have. That's part of how we provide the law enforcement with the small number of deputies that we do have. If the board and I can come to an agreement on this, we need to figure out how long we're going to be doing this. Because like I said, right now we're stretched thin and the hiring isn't the easiest. We did an interview last week and quite frankly, at the starting salary, it's a certified person and you're not going to find them for what we start as a deputy. I mean, we had a pretty good deal there. Then a couple of years ago, it was cut. Where we had a lot of people that wanted to be at the sheriff's office because of the progressive increase. And then the board of supervisors took that out in a budget meeting,
What is the starting salary, Lyle?
52,800 and something.
52,000 plus
It's not even 65% of the sheriff's salary.
about a 38%. Well, we could take the sheriff's salary down and try to give to the deputies. I'd be all right with that. Yeah,
I don't
good with
think
that?
you can do that, so. why
I know we can, I'm
think
just
about-
saying if you think it's
Because
too
first
high.
of all, you have no power to do that.
No, I'm just saying if the sheriff's salary could be,
The sheriff's salary is set and has been for years. We're not gonna argue about that in this board meeting because we're here to talk about this.
well, you brought it up. So we've got 52,000 with the starting salary plus about a $35,000 benefits package, what it was, so.
Basically,
So we're at $80,000 to $90,000.
people don't look at it that way,
Well,
Jacob.
it's dollars spent. So the
They
county.
look at what their salary and their check
Yes,
is,
you want to make sure you're fairly compensated, but just don't act like we're giving.
and
them
we're not
peanuts.
competitive. I'll say that right away. When you start looking at the other counties, we're not competitive.
Yeah.
We need to hire good people.
Yeah.
And we have good people, but I'm afraid that in the next year or two, if this stays this way, you're probably gonna see them going to other places.
Is every other county around us higher? Every other one?
Everyone close to our population.
Fremont, Mills, Montgomery, Taylor?
Fremont's a little
Yeah.
lower. Mills is definitely higher. Montgomery is higher. Adams, they are a lot higher.
Not Nottaway County.
Pardon me?
We're 10 miles from Nottaway County.
Huh?
Nottaway County, Missouri, we're 10 miles.
Different
there.
state,
Well, I'd like to know what they,
State,
so
yeah.
we could, I think, I told you last week, advertise.
the
down there.
requirements in Missouri are less than the requirements in Iowa. So I get what you're saying, but it doesn't, the certification from Missouri does not move to Iowa.
We
They
need
still
to
have
just
go-
look at Iowa.
We need to look at Iowa. That's
Yeah.
the state we're in. That's what we need to. And I know that there's a lot of things that we can move around, but that's not one of them. But anyway, we need to look, if we're gonna enter into some kind of agreement, how long of a term of agreement we're gonna enter into to determine where we're at with personnel.
Did Calvin act like this was something that they just wanted a short term?
Yeah,
Or is this something they were thinking that if they weren't going to hire one of their own, like their own police person, would there be, is that something that they're trying to do?
Well, here's something that we need to think about down the road too,
They're not.
is if they do decide to hire their own chief of police,
Mhm.
then we need to think that person's gonna be a 40-hour week probably. So who's gonna cover Essex in the interim? Has anybody thought about that? Who is gonna provide law enforcement to Essex when that person is off duty? Whether he's sleeping or out of town,
Yeah.
How is it now?
huh?
What is it now?
yeah.
Shenandoah.
They provide
The
it when
city of
they're off
Shenandoah
duty.
provides coverage when they have a call, and they provide 35 hours, or they did.
Again, Essex is in Page County, right? So if there's somebody calls with something wrong, they're
Yes.
the deputies.
We're
are
gonna
drive
go,
to
we're not
Essex.
gonna leave them.
You're
But,
acting like it's another country.
but
I
do we
understand.
need to have some kind of an agreement that since they are required under the Iowa code to provide law enforcement,
Right.
then if that person's not available, then
But
we
they
probably,
had that before, right? Back
they
in
had that years ago.
92 or 93 or whatever.
Years
And so how did it work then?
That was, pardon me,
How did it work then?
that's prior to me being sheriff,
Okay, cause I was,
or right
obviously
at the
that
beginning
guy
of my term, and I can't
40
remember
hours
that.
probably, and
We had some issues.
was there? Okay.
We'll say that.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is think about that and try to come up with something. I'm not trying to overcharge them by any means.
Right,
But
no.
what I'm trying to do is be fair to everybody in this county.
Yep.
So
So you're working, you think $65 an hour is the.
I think somewhere, we're gonna be right in there between 64 and 65. Depending on how bad my accounting screwed up here a little bit before.
And how did Calvin take that this morning when you talked to him?
Pardon me?
When you talked to Calvin, how did that go?
Well, he had some questions, and he's the one that posed the per capita. Because if you look, I mean, Stanton, similar size to Essex, Main Street, similar, pays $18,000 a year for
How much?
Montgomery County to drive through and answer calls.
How much?
18,000 is what,
18,000 a
that's what
year.
Calvin told me. Now, I haven't confirmed that with the sheriff's office in Montgomery County, but I think that, and then you look at our per capita, I mean, if you take that, that's gonna be less, but it depends on how many hours they want on where we're at. I mean, if they only need 20 hours and we provide 20 and don't have any overages, or if they want 20 and then we end up with calls up there for a lot of things and we end up with 40 hours. Now, I'm sure you're gonna hear about that, because instead of just a 20-hour bill, they're gonna get a 40-hour bill. And do we wanna bill them monthly? Or how do we, that's some things we need to think about when we do this to take to Carl.
And I don't wanna go back a long way, but there were a lot of issues way back when, and part of it was because of this, because there was more, there were more calls. We also had one of our deputies who served, Nico was there, who served Essex, and, in the end, they didn't wanna pay everything that
I think when,
was determined.
what Judy's referring to, and I believe 1992,
Could be.
in that era is when, Essex terminated that contract with the county. And what she's referring to is Bob Nyko, was a deputy. He was assigned to Essex, but he could answer calls out in the county if we needed him, or they needed him. I was not on the sheriff's office at that time. I was in the police department in Shenandoah. But the rest of the day, all the other deputies took calls, and Bob usually worked at 7 at night till, I believe, 4 o'clock or in the morning.
Yeah.
And he would alternate his days off, and Bob was a very good person to have in Essex. He knew what was going on, he knew the people, and he knew when somebody new moved in and everything about him when they moved in.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes in a small town. You've got to know your people and have common sense about what you're doing.
Right.
I'll get with Melissa later on today. I'll just give her a call and we'll run over some of the salary figures, because that's, like I said, that's gonna be the question on a couple things to make sure we're still in there. But I think we're gonna be right between $64 and $65 an hour.
So we'll need to put this on next week's agenda
You wanna put it on next week or Thursday?
for Thursday.
I don't know if Carl,
Thursday's just comp board and we've already, well,
I don't know if Carl can get a contract.
probably
They
not,
need it done by the 19th, if we can do that.
I mean, the 19th.
which is the 11th, the 11th is
The
next
11th would be
week,
next week. Okay.
We could
Yeah.
probably look at the 11th, and still have time to.
right?
And you want me to try to get with Melissa and then come up with a contract and get it to you guys as soon as you can, so not y'all,
Yeah.
you all can look at it. I apologize for that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, I'll do what we can and go from there.
And I'm sure they'll look into their own thing.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. And, you know,
They just need help for a time.
we'll do what we can. I mean, you know, that's what we're there for, is to try to help people in their time of need. And
Right.
obviously, this is the time of need for them. Okay, thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you, Lyle.
okay. Well. I think we're to number 11, board communication. So we need to, we'll meet again on Thursday. The comp board. And on that, I had an email out on that. When does everybody schedule those things? The comp board meeting and a lot of these meetings, when does that scheduled? Who schedules that?
The auditor usually schedules it with the
All of
comp
us
board.
elected talked and provided times that would work for all the elected.
But in the future that we're elected, we'd like to be considered in the talk, at least when you're scheduling, know what's going on. At least reach out to us too, along with the other electeds, and let us know when and where and what were the possibilities. On any meeting this board is a part of, I would like to at least be included. I think we would like to be included on the scheduling, if we're a part of it.
You emailed me last week and I told you when we were looking at it. I never heard back from you.
No, I asked, I've got a running email where I asked questions that haven't been answered. When it was, because I asked last week to Judy, I said, when is this? And found out it was Thursday at noon then. So I would just like in the future, if we had a meeting a while back this
You
way.
typically meet on Thursdays, the first week, the first day of the month in the morning, so.
Yes, no, that, for this meeting, yes, I expect Thursday's the first meeting. I'm talking about other meetings. We have special meetings. If it includes this board, I would like to be included on the scheduling. We can at least know when and where.
And I
and
guess
the
that's a
options are.
conversation you guys probably need to have, because not all comp board meetings, the Board of Supervisors attend.
Right.
So it's not a Board of Supervisor, it doesn't
Yes.
have to be a Board of.
It's a comp
Supervisor
board.
meeting.
I understand,
It's a
but
comp board meeting.
it's about us too. We're elected and we have representatives. I would at least like to know, like all the electeds, I think we would like to know when and where the options are. So we at least can be part of the conversation, because hearing about it afterwards is not, I'd like to at least know what's going on. So I just stating we would like to be included in the conversation of scheduling meetings that we would attend, that we would have something to do with.
I guess I'm confused because you emailed me and I let you know, so I don't understand.
Let me know. We would like to be included on when the decision is being made, and when and where and what time. I'm talking about, we find out after it's already done on several
So-
different times.
So Melissa, on this meeting on Thursday, the comp board meeting, is that basically it's just a meeting for the comp board? We're not really doing anything as supervisors.
I will
except-
chair the meeting. I'll be the,
You
No.
will not chair the meeting.
No, you do
Because
not
this is-
chair the meeting.
I did, let me know you chair to open it. We opened the meeting last year. I had to do that.
Well,
Then
I think
somebody else
that
runs it. That's
can I-
right.
The comp board
Okay.
takes care of it.
But we
Yeah.
opened the meeting and closed the meeting.
I think, so I think when the thing I got confused about, and this is where I sent you an email, Melissa, I think, because I was confused about, I got the two mixed up between the comp board and the conference board.
The
The
conference board is the
conference board
assessment.
is the
Yes, that's-
different thing where we sit as part of the conference. board,
Exactly.
the
Correct.
supervisors.
Yes.
The comp board, we're not a part of, but
No, we have a representative there,
The
yes.
compensation board, you have,
We have
the
a
supervisor has two
Just like
representatives.
Melissa has a
And
representative.
every other elected official
Right.
has a representative.
yes.
Right.
And
But
they
you do
are-
not chair the board, you do
Right.
not sit on
We
the
don't,
board.
we don't vote, we don't.
No, this
Yes,
is strictly compensation
exactly.
board.
So I was getting those confused.
Yeah.
All the ones
so-
I've been to, the chairman of the board opens the meeting, then defers it to the elected chair to run the meeting. That's all the ones I've been to,
If the Board of Supervisors is there and
which we will be. We're gonna,
if you choose not to be, then it's just a separate meeting.
yeah,
Okay.
So
So-
that is the difference of it. It's not, it doesn't have to be
So
Board of Supervisors.
It's not a board meeting as
Like
such.
some counties, the Board of Supervisors don't even come to attend the meeting.
That's what my other question
But
would
the
be then,
conference board, you are correct. The
do we
three
need to
Board of
be here?
Supervisors,
You don't have to
you
be.
don't have to be.
I
If you
mean,
don't
it's-
choose to be, because your comp board members are going to be who represents you.
Okay,
So you can talk to the representatives,
but
to the
yeah,
supervisor representatives who are Tom Hanna and Beth Ann Tillman.
I think Beth is still.
Right.
Yep.
to
Yeah.
talk about what you would like them to do in the
Yeah.
budget. with
Okay.
your- with
Do
the
they
salary.
reach out, or we have to talk to them, or do they reach out to us?
No, you reach out to them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
as for the conference board, you three as the Board of Supervisors sit on that board. So
Right.
if you
And I-
attend,
Yeah,
You
and
are-
I did see Jason's email about that. so-
Yeah, and he hasn't set a date yet.
Yeah.
In case we want to attend the comp board and.
Which is why we have the agenda.
Right.
Yeah,
So
which
we're
we
covered.
can. When that's scheduled, whenever that happens, I'd just at least like us to know when everybody's talking about when that's gonna be. That's not that big a deal. Just let us know when you're in scheduling phase of any meeting that we're gonna possibly need to attend or want to attend. At least so we can be a part of it.
Normally, the auditor sets the comp board meeting after talking to the other elected officials in the courthouse. And-
Okay, well,
Yeah,
as
around.
another elected
So-
official, I'm stating right now, I'd like to be part of that when that's scheduled, so.
But they don't, but you also talk to the
Representatives, right.
representatives to make sure that they can make it.
Sure.
They're the most important people to be at the meeting.
That we can all be a part of conversation and
Yes.
scheduling. It's not that big a deal.
Yes.
So, any other communications?
Nope.
Okay, if there's no more, we do not have, oh, we have claims.
Are we still scheduled to take our
That's what I
road
was
tour,
gonna
road
ask
tour
too.
On Thursday,
Thursday after the meeting?
meeting on,
Yeah,
we
he's
can
So
do,
if you're not gonna come to the
I
meeting,
will. I mean, I've already asked to be taking it off, so.
okay,
we
I
can take a
already
ride.
talked to my
If you're
boss,
here,
so-
I
we'll
guess
go.
we can go on it then.
If it doesn't work, we can, message
didn't-
next week.
We
for
didn't mention that to JD, so maybe need to touch base with him again.
Okay, yep.
So we'll just have it on there in case we do. Okay, we
So
have
are you
claims.
not holding a regular board meeting on Thursday then, Thursday morning?
No, it's just the comp board meeting. And
Okay.
Yeah.
then we had planned on, since we thought we'd all be here, then we could take the tour with JD after that, because we couldn't get it in today. Cause Judy has another meeting right after this, so, that's why we kind of made the agenda and put that on the agenda for that, so we could go for this tour
But
on
now you're not
Thursday.
doing that.
We will still, cause
Okay.
I'm still planning on being here as long as everybody else is, so
Yeah.
as long as JD doesn't have any conflicts with it, then we'll plan on that, so.
We'll use the, now, so we'll use the agenda we have done is good. And as we go and talk about scheduling, as we get ready to go into budget time, we need to get our calendars out together here and pick what works to do budgets in the future. I want to know when the deadlines are and all this. I don't want to go through it fast. I'll go through slow. So we need to look at our when thing, all the deadlines. I'd like to talk about that maybe the next meeting or two, whenever we can get together.
It's gonna
Make sure
have
we're
to
all
be
part of that.
sooner rather than later.
So we can start on get our calendars out and look at what we want to do to start that for everybody. Just so I know what right now, just what is the rough starting date? What is the,
Well, I've asked for all budgets to be in by the end of this week. That's
So,
usually a nice request. I don't always get everybody's, so some of that then is when the department heads get me. I start.
and they don't have their salary numbers anyway, because we haven't even heard the comp board, so they don't know some of it right now anyway.
Right.
So then when is the deadlines on things for being done and having time, you know?
Well,
what is the
technically,
deadline?
the deadline now is April 30th, but since we are gonna have bond debt, we're tied to the April 15th deadline still.
April 15th.
to be all finished, done and done.
But then you have. to do
April
your-
15th.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's on that?
Wait,
March 15th.
no.
Well, it was March 15th before.
The geo debt now.
Yeah.
Changed to April, I think it's April 30th. I will double check on that.
Okay,
Just get some deadlines and we'll get a calendar and we'll have a plan. To go through this, I'd like to work that out.
And then usually I just send out dates to you guys and then you guys let me know when you guys can attend.
Okay, so we'll work on that. We had claims today. We all
I'll
passed,
move that we approve the claims.
we passed those around, looked at them at the beginning of the meeting.
Yep, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on the claims. Vote on those real quick.
Who seconded that?
Judy made the motion, Todd seconded.
So just so my office is aware as well for scheduling purposes, what time are you planning on doing that road tour then Thursday?
It's on the agenda to be after the conference board meeting.
Okay, so you're just gonna do it right
We'll
now?
just-
Right after, yeah, I don't really have a ton, I mean, I don't know how long the conference board will meet. So, I know they start at 11,
It just says,
or no,
after-
12,
it
sorry.
just says after the comp meeting, we will take a road tour. It's on the agenda. So whatever, they don't know what it's time.
Okay,
Yeah,
It'll be when we leave here, we'll go there. On the road tour.
So you need Kristen to ride with us, or you ride with us? Okay.
Okay, so we'll have somebody to ride with us. On claims, we have motion and a second. We vote on them.
do you want a roll call?
Yeah, go ahead. Just do it.
Mayor,
yes,
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark.
Yes,
okay, the claims. No minutes, did not receive minutes. That's on the agenda. Last is to adjourn. Need a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.